Of all the books in my library, one of my favorite books of wisdom is this little book, only 41 pages long, of Martin Buber's, called The Way of Man. Buber, before the war, traveled through Eastern Europe to collect stories of Hasidic masters, and he fashions them in his own form into a book of wisdom to guide people in their lives. On this week's Parsha of Vayishlach, Buber quotes the Ger Rabbi, who recalls in the portion that Jacob, before he sends his family and his troops off to meet his brother Esav and to re-encounter them again, reminds them that Esav is going to ask the following question when he meets them. Who are you? Where are you going? And who are you these before you? The Gerer points out that these questions are very similar to the questions that the rabbis ask in Pirkei Avot, in the collection of wisdom of the sages in chapter 3, section 1, when they tell us to consider three things: know where you came from, where you are going, and to whom you are accountable. So the Gerer says, what's the difference between the questions? In the tradition of the rabbis who saw Esau as the embodiment of wickedness, he sees the questions that Esau asks not as an inquiry of real concern and interest about these people, but rather is somehow dismissive, leading to hopelessness. You think about the different ways we can ask a person a question. We can say, who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing here? Where do you think you're going? Those are questions that really are about eating away at who a person is. Rather, the questions of the sages, as Buber reminds us, are a genuine interest in who is a person, what are they made up of, do they really understand where they came from and where they're going? And these are questions that can really help guide us on our path, on our way, as Buber frames it in his book. So we think about our relationships, which was such an important feature of Buber's thinking, but how we relate to another person in a way that helps us ultimately encounter God, and think about the way we ask our questions and the kinds of questions we ask that can truly help us to appreciate another person and help open them up and create greater understanding. Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful week.